Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. Welcome to the Houzz Pro Designer Academy. To get us started, I'm Katie Congress, and I'm on our product marketing team. I'm here with my colleague, Melanie. Melanie, do you want to introduce yourself?
So I'm Melanie. I have actually been with Houzz for a year. I started as an onboarding specialist, and now I work on the program review side. So I'm very familiar with our software.
Great. Thank you. So Melanie will be taking us through a lot of great demonstrations over the next hour and a half or so. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, which is over on the right side of your screen. And we'll make sure to address them either as we go through or at the end. We want to make this as interactive as possible, so please don't be shy if you have any questions. And we will be sharing a recording of this event once it's done, so don't feel like you need to take notes on everything that we're going through. So why don't we take a look at the agenda?
Part of the things that we're going to start going over, I want to go over setting up your account. We'll go over some of the profile side, and then we'll go into the Houzz Pro portal where you're going to be able to do all your account management. And then we're going to dive into our Calendar and QuickBooks integrations. We have online payments and how to do taxes. We have our lead management and tracking, as well as our customized lead sources. And then we're going to end with our email marketing. So the first thing I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen, and I'm going to be sharing my demo account. And this is kind of how your web should look like. Mine will look a little bit different because it is a demo. So give me 1 second.
So just while we give others a few minutes to join, why doesn't everyone out there log into their Houzz Pro accounts? That will make it a little easier for you so you can follow along as well.
Definitely. All right. So as you can see here, this is going to be your Houzz Pro portal, the back end, as you will. The first place I always like to take my pros is to the profile side. And you're going to notice there's two different sides of Houzz. You have your blue Houzz Pro, which is going to be where you do all your account management and all your CRM and project tools. Then your profile side, that's going to be the green Houzz. So what you're going to want to do once you are logged in is you're going to press gear sign, and then you're going to go to your profile settings. This gear is going to be so helpful for you to get quick access to anything that you're going to need. On your profile side, this is where homeowners are going to be able to find you. You're going to see your login information. This is where you can put in your category, your website, your first and last name, and all of this information here. Once you have this set up, your address, it's going to pull this information onto your invoices. So you're going to want to make sure that everything is accurately updated on the green Houzz Pro profile side. Once you are back here, if you do want to head back into your Houzz Pro, you're going to click on Go to Houzz Pro, and that again is going to take you to this back end portal. Some of the first places for setup, again, you're going to go back over to your gear icon, and you're going to go to your account settings. Under your account settings, this is where you're going to upload your logo. And again, here is where you see this is grayed out. This is going to be my business address information. It's all grayed out because this is where you update it on the green Houzz, which is your profile. When I click back over here to Houzz Pro settings, this is where you're going to see all the tiles that you're going to have access to. You have, again, your account, your profile, billing. If you ever need to change your billing, update your credit card, make sure your billing's up to date, this is where you're going to want to go to update that information. When you have online payments, what you're going to want to do is click into here and set that up. Some of the first things I do want to take us to is going to be your calendar integration. So when I click on calendar, this is going to give you the option to collect your calendar with any one of these options here. You're going to have your iCloud, Google, Office 365, Exchange, and Outlook. Definitely want to get that set up. Once you have that integrated, you can actually schedule calls with your clients right through your portal, and you can give them a link and they can schedule directly on your calendar.
Melanie, can I ask you one question that we've gotten?
Yes.
Is that gear icon only on screens for the Houzz Pro account holders, or can team members access that as well?
It will be there for team members. However, it will be limited visibility. So if team members will not have access to online payments, because that's going to be set up on the admin side, unless you provide financial information to a team member, they won't see this. So definitely when you go into the teams, and actually I can click into there now if you like.
Sure.
Okay. So in Teams, so right here, I have myself as a team member. I can click on this dots over here, the ellipses, and I can click on edit. So right here, I can see that this team member of mine has access to leads and client communication, but they don't have access to proposals. And it looks like I have given this team member access to all these finances. But if I didn't want them to have finances, say they're just handling my communication, what you just want to do is uncheck anything that you don't want them to have access to. And once you save it, it'll go ahead and affect that team member's access.
Great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. If I head back over here to Houzz Pro settings, you also have your integrations with QuickBooks. Now, when you have QuickBooks integration, it's going to be a one-way sync. And what that means is when you are sending proposals and invoices from Houzz to your clients, that information is going to be then pushed over to your QuickBooks Online. So it's going to be that one-way sync from Houzz to QuickBooks. And then you will have to do some other manual inputs on your QuickBooks Online. And I always want to recommend, click on these Learn Hows, watch the videos, make sure you have a good understanding. If you still have questions, you can always go up to the help button and you can click on video tutorials for more information. But then you can also submit a support ticket specifically for QuickBooks Online to reach out to you for any type of setup or any sync errors that you may encounter. Heading back over here to your settings, if you click on your online payments, this is where you can set up company-wide your online payments. You're going to click the blue button to get started. You're going to need your business information, your business tax ID number. If it's your, social, you're going to put that in. But what this does is just verifies that you are a business, and then it's going to get that set up. Once you are set up, every single time you create projects, you're going to be able to toggle on specific projects that are going to be accepting those online payments. And we can accept ACH and credit and debit. And then we can, I don't know, we'll go over that today if there's not enough time, but we'll be able to talk more about what that billing is going to look like.
Melanie, we have gotten a few questions on the calendar integration.
Yeah.
Are you able to sync more than one calendar type?
Unfortunately, no. You can only sync the one because it's only going to communicate to that one calendar type. However, if you have team members that are accessing the same calendar, I'd recommend having the general admin email and be able to book those calls on that admin calendar while they each have their own individuals.
Okay, great. Thank you. And can you sync to an iCloud calendar?
Yes, you can. Yeah. And actually, when you click this button, another pop-up shows up that I can't share, but you're going to be able to see those options. And again, it's going to be iCloud, your Google Calendar, Office 365, Exchange, and Outlook.
Okay, great.
And then also through there, I will point out you have access to schedule virtual meetings, and you don't have to necessarily schedule in-person meetings, but you can always schedule this with one of your clients. If you need to have a quick one-on-one, you can do that through here as well. And we also have some training videos as well that can dive really deep into how to schedule all those and get them set up.
Okay, great. We have another question here from Julie, and she's wondering why we're no longer able to change the contact information that we want our clients to have if they want to have separate contact information than they have on their public profile.
Very good question. So to that, if I go back over to my profile and I go to edit profile, we're kind of mentioning on your contact information, this might be the home address, and we don't want the home address showing up on the invoice.
Yes, let's go with that.
Yeah, so if that is the case, I know it might be uncomfortable, but I would go ahead and maybe even delete out the address so that way your home address doesn't appear. And then when you actually go into the invoices and your addresses, then you should be able to toggle in some information. So if I go back over into here, and I'm going to skip over a couple steps, I'm just going to go into one of my proposals and see if I can get some more information on that. Let's see. Yeah. So unfortunately, it will prevent you from updating it. You always can update your billing information, and that will be a different address on there. However, the company information will be the company information that you've listed on your profile side.
Okay, great. Thank you. it looks like we're good for now then. You can keep going.
All right. Perfect. So the next step I want to take you to is lead management. So if you click on the leads tab and go to all leads, this is where any of the leads that come to you through Houzz are going to be stored. You also have the ability to manually input your leads. So say you're using another service for lead generation, you can actually add them into the CRM here at Houzz, and you can still manage those relationships. And through our leads, you also have the ability to send out proposals or invoices and actually bill out. I know a lot of interior designers I've worked with, they do a lot of e-design. So for example, if you're just going to do an e-design, you don't necessarily have to put it into an entire project. You could have them in the lead category and invoice them right there from the lead. So right here I have Donna. So I inputted Donna manually, but if you had interest on your profile side, it would also come into here as a message saying, hey, I have a project. I'm interested in your services. So right down here, you're going to be able to email your clients directly. So what you can do is type out something, I can't wait to meet you, looking forward to our scheduled meeting. And then I always want you to press on this preview button. The preview is going to allow you to see branded photos. So if I press preview, I've got this image here, and this image again was pulled from my profile side. And I can take you back there again if we need to. So if you ever needed to change what this looks like on the email, you head back into the green profile and change that photo there. But then here is that branded email, and it can even be previewed on mobile as well. One of the benefits of actually sending the email through our software is it's going to be able to have tracking on it. So you're going to be able to see that Donna opened your email on this day at this time. They replied to it at this day at this time. And you can see all that communication back and forth. You can also send text messages through the software if your client has opted into text messages. You can attach files, like if you have a DocuSign or a contract you need to sign. You can attach images if you need to send over an image of a mood board or anything like that. And then you can put links in, maybe shoppable links to your Amazon storefront or anything like that. But you have a lot of capabilities here. So I definitely want to encourage you to sign in, maybe create yourself a test lead and kind of try this out and see how it's going to work for you. Down here on the right-hand side, you're going to have all of your lead details. So the first thing you see is going to be your lead stage. The lead stage is always going to default to new. And then as you're working through your clients or working through your leads, we want you to go ahead and toggle those lead stages appropriately. So what you'll do is you'll click on new. And for here, you can click on, I followed up with them. We've actually connected. We scheduled that meeting and I sent the proposal. So this is going to be able to let you know what's going on, just a brief looking at it. Once you do that, you can also scroll down and see your lead details. So it looks like this lead came by digital mail. The project's going to start on October 1st. We have their estimate budget and their budget or their project type. Over here on the left-hand side, here's going to be kind of that CRM, that lead management that you've got. You can click on messages, and this is going to be just those messages you've exchanged. You can put in notes. So say you actually had that phone call with your client, you can go in here and make notes about it. So you could say that Donna has this great big room. She doesn't know how to style it. We need to, call in the big guns and, take care of this, get her some big artwork, some, shiplap or whatever you need to do. Then you can also upload files through here. We actually have a new feature for our interior designers that are takeoffs, which is actually just added to our leads. I'm going to cancel out of there. What the takeoffs is you're going to be uploading a PDF of like a floor plan or a blueprint, and then the takeoffs will actually be able to measure the space, and it can do counting of doors and outlets and windows. It's a very robust piece of software that we definitely want to encourage you to take a look at. Down here is the last thing is proposal. So again, if you're doing e-design, you can actually create your proposal for that design right here. Once you have collected or set up your online payments, your proposal will be able to schedule out those payments to start collecting those funds.
Great. Melanie, do you mind showing one more time where someone can see if a client has read an email that you sent them?
Yes. I'm going to go back over here. Anytime you want to see that information, you go to leads and go to all leads. That's where you're going to find everybody you've spoken to. And so let me see, let me go over here to Ross. You're going to be able to see it right in the message. I want to see if I actually have one that I emailed back so I can actually show you what that timestamp looks like. Here's where I have those lead stages. And it should also show up in here. This is going to be your lead activity. So this is where you would be able to see any new statuses. And I do believe it should pop up here. If not, correct me if I'm wrong, but you would be able to see that it has been read in here as well.
Okay, great. We have a question from Christina that some of the team members don't receive email notifications, so they need to log into Houzz to see the new lead. Mm-hmm. Do you have any advice on that if all of the team members are in admin?
So all the team members have actually been set up and they're activated?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, what I would recommend that team member does would be to log in. And when they log in, we want them to head over to their profile. So they're going to have like a generic like Houzz user profile. There won't be much to it. But what they can do, again, I'm in the greenhouse, so on the profile side. You can go to your advanced settings. And down here, you're going to be able to update any of your email preferences. And this can be for individual team members as well as admin. But this way, if they're unsubscribed, they're not going to be getting those leads. So definitely make sure all of their subscription settings are done correctly so that we can be able to push the right information to them.
Great. We had another question about how many team members you can add on Houzz Pro.
Great question. So we have 3 different levels of Houzz. We have our starter, which only allows for 1 user. We have our essential tier, which is our project tier, our software tier, and you can have 3 logins. So 1 admin and 2 team members. You do have the option of adding on more team members with a monthly fee. It's just an additional more. But then if you are on our ultimate software, which includes our lead generation and branding package, that has unlimited team members. So especially if you have a big design firm and you need to have a lot going on, you might want to look into that top tier to make sure you have the most access to everything that you need.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Let's see. We do have a few more questions here. Is there a way to filter out spam calls that are leads, or do you have to go and manually and delete those?
Great question. So at this point, you do still have to manually change them. What happens is, so say this Ross Geller, he's a celebrity or a TV character, probably not real. So what you would do is you would click on the button and you're going to click on archive. And this is ultimately going to help you as well as it helps Houzz. If it's spam or solicitation, you're going to go ahead and mark it as such, and you're going to click save. What'll happen is it'll keep it in the archived unless you delete it. But once you do actually mark it as spam, we're going to be able to see that maybe this number has called multiple professionals and it's a spam call. We're going to be able to put them on a block list and prevent that number from calling again.
Okay, thank you. I think those were most of our questions for now. I know we have gotten some interest in takeoffs. So takeoffs is something that we just recently added to the designer experience. I don't believe we're covering it today in the Academy, but we will have some information on it in the next few sessions if you're able to join us.
Yes, definitely. I know that is on the agenda, not mine, but it will be coming up later this week. Also, if you are interested and you can't wait, you go to this help button, go to those video tutorials, type in takeoffs, and you will see so many different tutorials teaching you from just uploading the blueprint to doing individual measurements and counting. So go ahead and dive right in there, but definitely make sure you hop into the other sessions for those live Q&As. All right. Anything else you want me to cover on the lead section, lead management, anything like that before I bump into email marketing?
No, I don't think so. We don't have any questions there. We do have a question on the billing template and whether you're able to configure that.
The billing template. Do you think we're referring to proposals and invoices?
Yes. The question is, it like in the past, it didn't have a category for time and hours.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So when you are using the stopwatch is going to start toggling in time. So say, for example, I'm going to click the stopwatch. I'm going to press start. We're going to work on Jenny's Castle. We have our designer rate. You can type information. So now this is going to start toggling our work. So Anytime you use that, it's going to put itself into time and expenses. And so from here, I can actually go to the Manage button up at the top. From here, I can scroll on down to time and expenses. From here, we're going to invoice out Clarence's Heaven Room. So what you're going to do is you're going to check that off and you're going to click on Create Invoice. From here, you're going to be able to make any updates. For example, here is my name. I can click on this. If I wanted to edit out that information, I can put that there. And say, for example, we logged 4 hours for this and say that we actually had a couple hours on the back end. You can actually update this at this time. And maybe we're going to put, 5.5 hours. You have your rate. If you're going to be marking it up, you'd put this in here. Then you can also add taxable. Always check your state to see if service is taxable. In the state of California, I don't believe service is taxable, but definitely make sure it is for you. And then down here, you're going to be able to see your total. Now, on the topic of tax, when you are building this out, the very first time you build this, this will be blank. It'll say none. So what you're going to want to do the first time you log in is click on Create New Tax Rate. And then you're going to create the tax rate for your area. So you'd click on Create New, you'd put in, sales tax, and then you'll put in your state. So I'm going to put in California, and you'll put in your rate and click Save. Once that is done, you can actually toggle down to that rate. Now, do you feel that answers the question?
I think so. Yeah. Feel free to add into the chat if you want any further explanation there. Okay, let's see. We have a few more questions coming in. So another question about leads. Mm-hmm. If you send a lead an invite for a phone call or a Zoom, will it link directly with Zoom, or do you have to go into Zoom on your own and set it up?
I do believe you have to have your own Zoom login. So it'll definitely prompt you to log in. And I believe with Zoom, you have the ability to do 45-minute meetings tops with just a general user. So I would make sure that you have that set up as well. And you would add that Zoom as an integration. So once the Zoom is integrated, you're going to have your Google Calendar. You can create that meeting and then make it a Zoom meeting, and then it'll all be tied together through there.
Okay. Katie Rainey, please let us know if that answers your question or if you still have any questions about that. And then we have a question from Allison. If it's possible to have the time tracking populate into the room planner so you can track design hours by room.
What you'd want to do in that case is you would basically go into here, you'd put in the project, and for the description, this is where you would put in, say you're going to be working on dining room plans. And so once this is in there, you're going to be able to find out where that is, be able to sort them. If I also go back over to my time and expenses, from here, you can manually input that as well. So you can click on new entry. It's going to look very similar. So you're going to put in the project you're working on. You're going to put in the team member that is going to be accountable for those charges. And then the service, say design time, and then you're going to put in the description. So you can basically itemize through here. And then you can actually select multiple of those time slots and create one invoice from, say, 5 different timestamps.
Thank you. It looks like there are a few questions around integrations of calendars, or maybe there's a bug on the integration side. So we can look into that because you should be able to integrate the calendars.
Correct. Google, it's a link. So when you click on Google Calendar, it gives you like an HTML that you then copy into your calendar settings.
Okay, great. Let's see. Diane asked if we're not purchasing for clients and if tax doesn't apply, is that something you can remove?
Yeah. So what you would do on that proposal, just make sure that the tax says none, and then it won't even count the tax.
Okay. And then Dana had a question on a similar note. She said some vendors like Pottery Barn have a really strange billing process, and it's difficult to specify specific tax to an individual product. How would you solve for that?
Good question. So what I would end up doing in that situation is when I build out my proposal, let me go back into one of them. So once you're back in here, you can actually zero this out for none. And then say we need to add an item, and we're going to make this item our tax. So we're going to go ahead and create a new project. I'm going to add an item. Actually, let's make that a service. You have your difference between products and services here. I'm going to add a service, and I'm going to put in like my Pottery Barn tax. And you can also name this whatever you need it to be. If you need it to be a hidden cost or whatever that is, you'll put that in here. And then for here, you'll say if it's taxable or not, and you're going to press save. All right. So we have our Pottery Barn tax, right? So right here, you're going to put in their cost. So you're going to have your invoice from them, and you're going to know what they're charging you. From here, you can say maybe your total ended up being like $525.20. You have the option to mark it up. You don't have to. But then let me click out of here. Everything here is marked for none because it's just going to be tax. And you basically would do the same process to add on the charges as such. I might even charge it separately in one separate invoice to make sure you collect for it, if that makes sense.
Okay, and Zoe had a question. I think there may be some difference in the old experience versus the new experience around being able to only apply tax to the gross margin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you are on the older experience, we do want to have you push towards a new experience because you will have access to everything that you're seeing now. But there are different access points, if you will, different availabilities. But if I go back into here, you can go into each individual line item. And on each individual line item, you can indicate what part of that item is taxable. You can say that the item is taxable, the shipping is taxable, or none of it is taxable. And again, here's where you're going to put down the tax that they're going to be charged. And I don't think I should go further into proposals, but I'm definitely happy to answer any questions that we have.
Great. That should probably be good for now. Let's see, a few more questions on leads. So are you able to get the contact information like a lead email address?
Yes. So if when the lead comes from Houzz, they should be logging in under that email. What you can do is when you're manually inputting your lead, and actually if I just click on add lead, create new lead, once you put in client name and lead details, you can actually click on more client details, and then you should be able to put the email address right in there. And then that way you have that information logged in on that lead. Every time you have the information in your lead, it's going to save all that information. Once you've worked the lead and you've talked to them, you schedule a meeting, they said, yes, I want you to do my house or my kitchen. You're going to click on this blue button, convert it to project. This is going to carry over all of your lead details, your client information, any notes, files, proposals that have already been sent. It'll carry it all over into the umbrella of a project. And under your project, you have so many more capabilities for project management that I believe you're all going to go over on Thursday.
Okay, great. Can you show back to the calendar integrations how you can edit your availability?
Yes. So with your calendar, the way you're going to want to edit your availability is actually going to be on your calendar side. So I would basically go into your individual calendar and block out the times that you don't want to have availability. For example, here at work, I'm using a calendar where I block out the weekends every single time. So there's no chance of anybody scheduling a call with me on Saturday or Sunday. So when you have those integrations, it's always going to be on your calendar side. Make sure that you're blocked from, say you don't want to be called as early as 6 a.m. Make sure you're blocked up until 8 a.m. and then you're open on your calendar from 8 a.m. till say 6 or whenever you're open.
Okay, great. Let's see. A question from Regina. How do you open attachments that you add to proposals or invoices once they're attached?
They would be on the proposal. So let me see. I want to go into my proposal. When you send it, let me see if I can find one. I'm going to go to preview and share. It would actually be attached in here. Since I haven't actually done that, I'm not seeing it as an option for me because I haven't actually sent one. But once you attach it, your client should be able to see it right from there. Click on it, open it up. Also, it should send your client that email saying you have a new invoice or new proposal from, XYZ designer. They would click on that link and it would show them the proposal with those attachments.
Okay, great. Question from Ariel, when will we be able to merge POs again?
That is a great question that I don't have the answer to.
Okay, no problem.
Definitely stay tuned. Make sure that you're on our email posts and our blogs because we are making changes and updates very, very often. So hopefully that'll come soon.
Okay, great. We did have a question here from Esther. How would she know if she's under the new experience or the old experience?
The best way to check would be to call Houzz just to verify and make sure. Visually, if you're seeing what I'm clicking on and if yours doesn't look like it, chances are you might be on our older experience. All you need to really do is call us and see what we need to do to get you onto that new experience, and hopefully it'll be a seamless process.
Okay, great. Let's see. I'm just looking at some of these questions here. Thank you, everyone. A follow-up on the lead email question. Someone asked, for leads that come from Houzz, can you get their email address as a way to continue the conversation on email, say, for instance?
Yes. So when you go into the lead, again, you're going to be able to see Jack Sparrow's information. So you would be able to see that here. However, you're more than welcome to take that email and email from your own email. But again, when you're emailing through the software, we're going to be able to track that conversation for you, and everything's going to stay in the bubble of this lead instead of you having to go back through your email, trying to search his name, trying to find that email communication. You're going to have it all here. And again, you have that time tracking. So this was sent August of last year at 12 a.m. So definitely having that information at your fingertips is going to be very helpful. But yeah, that information be under the client details.
Okay, great. And then for those of you who have Gmail, we are also about to launch a connected email feature. So you can connect your Gmail email account to your Houzz Pro account. And then any email sent from either Houzz or from Gmail will sync automatically. So that will enable you as well to work out of your Gmail account, but still have the record of everything from Houzz.
Yes, that'll be a great integration. So when that comes out, definitely take advantage of that.
Let's see. We had a question here again around accepting payments, online payments. Is there a fee to clients, and can you accept credit card payments?
Yes. Yeah. So each project that you set up, you're going to basically be able to individually say if that individual client is going to do online payments. So if I go into Jenny's Castle, that information is going to be found here. To double check to make sure that my account is going to be accepting charges, I'm going to press on edit. Down here, I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. And then here you have your online payments. Now, since I am in my demo account, I'm not able to see it, but on your end, once it is set up, you're going to have these two toggle buttons. One's going to say this client is accepting ACH payments, and the other is accepting credit card or debit. And you're going to toggle on that this project is always accepting ACH or sometimes or never accepting ACH, and same with credit and debit. So that way, if you have a client who strictly only wants to pay you by cash or only wants to pay by check, you just toggle it off so it doesn't even show it as an option as you're building out those proposals. But yeah, we do credit, debit, and ACH. Okay,
great. We had a follow-up question, a few actually, on the QuickBooks integration. If you integrate QuickBooks, does all the company information like tax, et cetera, get transferred over?
It should. Yeah. So anything that's going to be on your proposals and your invoices, all that data will go ahead and one-way sync and transfer over. The only things that don't transfer over are going to be your purchase orders unless you're paying for the QuickBooks online, the super subscription. I don't know exactly what it's called, but when you're paying for that higher level of QuickBooks Online, we'll also send over purchase order information as well.
There's a question from Allison around if we're ever planning to integrate with the desktop version of QuickBooks.
I personally don't know. I don't imagine that's going to be an availability because I think we're all headed towards the software version where it's all online.
Okay, great. I believe you're right. That's what I've heard as well.
Mhm.
And we have a question from Sarah around when room boards will be available. I know that is a highly anticipated feature, should be released probably in October, the beginning of October. And actually, we're rebranding room boards as Room Planner. So stay tuned, there will be more information. You'll see more about that. And actually, if you would like to be added to a beta group, be one of the first to test out the new feature, feel free to send me an email and we can get you set up with that as well.
That sounds great. Yeah, I saw a demo of the room planner and it looks pretty fantastic.
Okay, great. A note from Bethany who would like some reassurance that when she switches to Houzz Pro from Ivy, things will go smoothly and won't get messed up.
Oh, I understand completely. I say the best way we can have it run smoothly for you is to make sure that when you do come over to Houzz, you use the exact same email that you're using for Ivy. So you have your Ivy login, set it up in Houzz with it. So that way everything connected with that email address flows over into Houzz with the same email address. That will be the smoothest transition you will experience.
Okay, great. Another question here, if I can add a questionnaire to my profile as a designer.
As of right now, we cannot, but you are able to put in hyperlinks. So you should be able to respond in an email. So say you get a lead and they reach out and say, hey, I'm interested in X, Y, and Z. If you have that questionnaire ready, say it's, you create it through Canva or however you're creating it, PDFs, you can send the link through here. You can actually attach a file or you can link it so you can have them click directly into that questionnaire. And then you could have that as well. But unfortunately, we don't actually have that as a part of Houzz.
Okay. And a follow-up to that is if you're able to add different design packages to your profile.
Yeah, so let me go back over into my profile and I'm going to go to your Houzz. Now, mine's pretty sad because, again, it's a demo. But what you would do, you're going to log into your profile side. And again, that's all going to be on your green Houzz. This is going to be, let me ask that question actually. So is this going to be different packages for clients to see or different packages that we're putting in projects?
We don't have those details. So let's go with packages for clients to see.
Got it. Perfect. So what you'll do is click on Edit Profile. And then under your business description, you would put in, say you have your bronze package includes, X, Y, and Z. Then you have your silver package and you'll go ahead and detail it out through there. And so from here, you can then scroll down even further. And then under your cost details, here's where I would put the pricing. So in the description, write out what your bronze package is. So maybe it's going to be a 30-minute phone call, design plans, and mood board. And then say your bronze package is, say it's $2,500. And then you can go up from there. In the cost range, I'd put this as $2,500 to your top tier package. So maybe it's going to be, $20,000. Now, if I head over into my Houzz Pro, if I wanted to be able to bill out for those packages, what I would probably do would be to create an invoice. Let me see if I go to invoices. I'll click on create invoice. Once you have that project created, you can put that in here. And then we're going to go ahead and customize this out. So I'm going to go into here. I can even select this and edit this further. And we're going to put on bronze package. And then here we're going to put in what you're doing. So say this is your 30-minute call, your design, mood board. So now that's how we're going to build that out. And so you can start seeing how that's going to play out. You're going to put in those times, the individual itemized rates, again, costs and markups. And I think on Thursday, you're going to be able to go over how you can even edit these further. You can hide them from view. You can add in your own columns, but there's a whole lot you can do. But this is how I would really start out that process for you.
Great. We did have one request to just repeat those steps if you could do it quickly.
No problem. So I'm going to go back into all of my projects. And so say Clarence has opted for the bronze package as well. You're going to go into that project and let's just invoice for it because we're not really proposing anything. He's just taken it. You do have the option to actually create that template, which I won't go over today. But when you create that template, that's where you can have your bronze template. I'm going to create it from scratch, and then we should be able to actually save that as a template. So in here, again, this is on my invoice. You're going to be able to hover over that invoice name, and then we're going to edit out what we want it to say. You hover over this information, highlight it, and then detail out what it's going to be. So you can even put like intro, interior design package, includes, or we don't even have to add all that. So that's there. And here we're going to add in those items. So maybe this is going to be that 30-minute phone call consultation. I'm going to create new. We're going to put this as a service. We're going to put this as a consult fee and just all that information. And then this is how you're going to quickly build out those packages right here. From here, say you have everything really built out. You have in your consultation, you have in your mood board, you have in everything for this package. What you can do is actually go to more actions, and then you can actually save this as a template. So now that the template is saved, anytime somebody collects your bronze package, you basically create an invoice from the template and then make the edits within the invoice per project or per person you're doing it for. I hope I didn't get too much into the weeds with that.
No, I think that was good. This is a great question. Someone's asking if we have a template with typical design charges, the hours needed, costs, etc.
I would basically do it this exact same way. So I would first maybe build it out. So maybe start by building out for your company and then create in that company your different invoices of charges. So it's going to take some work up front, but what you do is you're going to build it out just as we've done here. You're going to click on save as a template. You're going to say what it is. So maybe this is going to be your stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, whatever your design firm does for these charges, you can do that here. And then say you've actually created terms and conditions and memos that are attached to this invoice. You can have them carry over on the template or not. And if I scroll on down, I'll show you where those are. So down here is where you have your memos. You can even customize this if you want to change this. And then you have your terms and conditions. Yeah, once it's saved as a template, you'll be flying.
Awesome. Just to follow up also the earlier question about questionnaires, we do have something in the works for that. So before the end of the year, it should be released.
That's great.
And then we had a question from Tara if there's a way to integrate a contract.
Not necessarily integrations, but what you are able to do is in each project, you have a files section. So here on the project, you have all your project management tools here on the left. If I go into files, here's where you can actually upload project files. So for example, your contract. So say, for example, you've already emailed a contract and they virtually signed it, or you delivered in person a physical contract and it's been signed. You just scan it into your computer or you take pictures with your phone and then you just click on upload files and then you're able to drop those right into here. And then anytime you see these heads pop up, this is going to indicate if it's shareable. So this couch that I uploaded earlier is actually going to be visible on my client dashboard, as well as any of my team members And then I also have the option to let my subcontractors know. So in the example of a contract, you can upload it and you want your client to have access to that. You can toggle on access, but the subcontractor doesn't need to see that. So you can just leave that as is. And then that's how you know if they are able to see it, is those little colorful heads there.
Okay, great. Another question, if proposals and invoices, et cetera, will have automatic numbers assigned to them when you generate those documents?
Mm-hmm. They will. Let me go over here and show you. Let's see, where did it go to preview and share? Maybe they did change it. Have they? Are you aware? Did we change it? Because it used to populate.
Okay, I'm not aware, but there is a question that it did not populate from Patricia.
Okay, so we might have gotten rid of that. If you do need that information, so say you want to be able to number it, what I would do is I would go back over into Edit Invoice. And then here, maybe this is Bronze Package, and this is going to be 1.0. And then say for your next project, Bronze Package 2.0, kind of manually do it. Definitely we'll be able to keep everyone posted, or you'll be kept posted on email notifications, what gets updated and what gets added on these software.
Okay, great. Yes, and Kelsey confirmed that it was changed. So thank you. Okay, great. I think we can go on to email marketing, and then feel free to keep adding the questions in the chat.
Great. All right. So one of the most important things I would say for email marketing is to start with your client list or your leads. So if you have a list of all your past clients that you've worked with that you want to keep them up to date on and say, hey, I'm starting a new project or this is going on. What I want you to do would be to go into manage and go to clients and build that client list. Put in all your past clients with their names and their emails. Once this is built, we can actually start creating what we call like segments of individuals for you to actually start sending. So client list number one, then to actually find it, you're going to go up to marketing, and then you're going to go down to email marketing. Down here, you're going to see you have your campaigns, we have templates, and then we have our lists. And I just use the word segments, but your list is basically going to be that client list that you've already put into Houzz. And say we want to start sending out, maybe you've moved locations, you're in a new site. We can actually start sending that out. So if I go to campaigns, I'm going to click on create campaign. In our campaigns, you're going to have access to these 5 templates that are going to make it very easy to drag and drop. And so let's go ahead and choose. Let's just choose a holiday greeting. Make it nice and short. We're going to make this we've moved campaign. Our client type, we are going to put this as, let's just, whatever you want it to be. I'll do newsletter. I'll click on create. Once you're in here, what you're going to be able to do is change out the photos. So since we're saying that we moved, maybe we're going to swap this photo and we're going to drop in a photo of our nude storefront or our showroom. You could drop that in, or maybe it's a picture of, you and your team. You can easily just drop that in by uploading a new image. You can also source some stock images as well. From here, you can actually even link it. So if you wanted to put a URL, so they click on that image and then they'll take them to your portfolio on Houzz. It'll take them to your website, maybe to wherever you need that link to lead to. Then you can actually start building this out. And maybe we're just going to write out, we've moved. And maybe you really don't like this, go ahead and select it. You're going to click on this word Helvetica, which is going to be all those fonts we have available. And then you're going to choose a new font. Maybe we'll go with Cabin. And we really don't like that orange color. So we're going to press this arrow next to the color, and maybe we're going to make this gray. So you can start changing that as well. Start sending out your message, type out your paragraph saying after, 10 years of being at this location, we've grown. We're in a, 10,000 square foot office building now. Come check out our showroom. 10% off design fees for the first 100 people that come in the doors. However you want to make that announcement, you can do that here. Then you go ahead and upload your logo. Right here, this is what's really neat. If you do have socials, you can actually just easily type in the extensions of your social networks. You can even add in all these options. I don't even know what half these are, but if you have it here, we've got it. You just link it up. And then since they're going to be hyperlinked, you send out this email. Your clients can just click on it and stay up to date with you wherever they find you. You can also add in more and more dialogue in here. Once this is really dialed down to what you want it to look like, you can actually close out all these pop-ups, and then you can either add it as a template or just continue to send. So if I click on continue to send, it's going to take me to choose my list. So right here, I'm seeing that preview. I'm seeing my sender email, and then I'm going to add my recipients. And this is why it's important to build that list first, because otherwise you've built it and then you have no one to send it to. So you're going to go ahead and click on your clients, and then we're going to go in here, maybe change your subject line, new showroom. You've got to see this. And then you can have a pre-header, you can test your email, or you can actually just send the campaign and it'll send it over a period. I think it sends 10 emails like every 5 minutes or something like that. But once everything is sent out, you're going to be able to see that it's been sent. And then hopefully that email marketing works out extremely well for you. You have people visit your showroom and you're all set to go.
Great. We had a question there if someone who receives the email needs to log in or gets a link. The answer is no. It will just come across their inbox like a normal email. And again, if you have a Gmail account, you have the option to connect your email, so it looks even more like it's coming right from your personal work email address.
Exactly. And one of the neatest things is I actually sent this back on February for whatever this was, but only 3 people opened it. So I have a 50%, return rate on my conversions, right? But yeah, so when it's sent to me, there's no Houzz branding on it. It was all my demo branding on it. So my demo logo, my information, so it's a very clean, crisp email that comes out that is definitely worth looking into.
Great. Let's see, Rebecca's question, I think I covered. What email does it use to send your email? So again, if you have a Gmail account, you can connect it. Otherwise, it will send from your Houzz proxy email, which is basically the one that you have in the Houzz system. Exactly.
And it'll say, from, your company's name on the email. So it's from you.
Great. We have a question from Gail who said there's a lot of great information, but does Houzz have any sort of community like on Facebook where designers could communicate or ask questions?
Great question. Yeah. So what I'll direct you to is over here to, actually, I'm going to go to Houzz Pro. I'm going to click on this logo here. This is going to be your general dashboard. You're going to go ahead and scroll down, and there should be the Pro to Pro discussions. And that also might have moved from the last time I looked at it. So I could also go here, Pro to Pro discussions. It's under the Help tab. You're going to press on Help and go to Pro discussions. This will take you to that message board where other people are talking. We have some action as of recently. You can always start a discussion if you want, but definitely use this to your advantage. Start networking, build those relationships with others nearby, and see how you can all benefit each other. Great.
Let's see, another question here. Let's see, if there's a way to build a template for proposals that can go to leads and not only current clients.
For the email marketing?
No, I'm sorry. This is separate from email marketing.
Okay, say the question again.
If you want to send a proposal to a lead, not necessarily to a client, is there a way to build a template for that?
There should be, yeah. So let me go into leads. I'm going to go into my Donna lead. I'm going to click on proposal. You can actually pull from any of your templates. So what I would do in that case would be to create from scratch, create yourself a scratched proposal for leads. So again, if anytime you get a lead, you're going to have that consult fee and maybe an in-person meeting fee just to get that off the road, basically label that as such, and then you can always just drop it right in there. And then if I had any templates, I'd be able to pull right from this list.
Okay, great. There was a question if Houzz works best with a certain browser, like with Chrome or with Safari. Someone was running into some issues with uploading images to email marketing.
Definitely. I always want to recommend using Chrome. It will work better on Chrome. I know that Houzz is working to remedy that. But if you do have access to Chrome, or if you don't have Chrome, I would go ahead and download it. It's a free browser. But especially as an interior designer, if you're using the Clipper, the Houzz Pro Clipper is a Google extension, a Google Chrome extension. So definitely want to get you on Chrome so you can take advantage of that Clipper as well. And that's the best way to grab images from the internet and drop them into proposals and invoices.
Okay, great. A few follow-up questions on Pro to Pro. Do you mind just showing quickly again where that can be accessed?
Yes. So just press on the help button up here. You're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says Pro to Pro discussions. And then here you can actually start searching through what has been already mentioned. And then you can start that discussion here.
Awesome. And then that discussion is private for pros, right? Homeowners are not going to be reading that?
Correct. Yeah, it's just for professionals.
We had another question. In addition to email marketing, is there any other marketing template we have available, like to share on Facebook or Instagram from a Houzz profile?
The Houzz profile. Let me see. Good question. Go ahead.
I do know that I was just going to say, I do know there's a way to share directly onto Facebook, onto Instagram, and potentially onto a few others.
Yeah, so you can link them. With sharing, you can. So we do have our online websites, our Houzz Pro managed websites. And so what you can do is actually create that website through Houzz. If you have an essential or an ultimate account, it's already included in your package. If you're on starter and you're interested, we're going to want to upgrade you to at least essential to take advantage of that. Through there, you can actually be able to share that as well on your socials. You can put that website onto your Facebook or your Instagram.
Great. Let's see, just a few other questions here. So if you send a proposal via Houzz, does the client need to sign into Houzz to read it, or will they get it directly in their email?
They should get an email, and in that email, it'll say you have a new proposal or a new proposal from, XYZ design company. They should just be able to click into a link, and it's going to populate a URL for them to go into. If they are experiencing any issues with that and say they're being forced to log in, that shouldn't be the case. So what I would do, I would actually go into the proposal that you're about to send. Once it's all ready to go, click on preview and share. And then you're going to have the option here to actually share it, export it as a PDF. But what I like to do is grab the link, and then you can copy that URL. And then once this is done being saved, I think I should be able to click it. And then this is exactly what your client's going to see by just clicking that link. They don't have to log in. It just brings them to this URL page. They can click in and sign just by, signing like that. And then you're good to go.
Awesome. Thank you. Another question from Penelope on email marketing. Can email address lists be uploaded if you have a list from MailChimp or from someplace else?
Yeah. So the place you're going to start is going to be into Manage Clients. And then from here, you're going to want to import that client list. So if you have that CSV file, go ahead and upload it. And then that way it's going to be in here. When you're in email marketing, you could also have them as their own list. So I would basically upload that list of your email list. So list a lot. Go into email marketing, go into your lists, and then you should be able to create a new email list. And then here you can actually name it out. So you could say, from MailChimp create list. And then from here, so maybe this could be like your old clients or, new clients. And then here you can actually upload them directly into this new list outside of the client list.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few more questions, it looks like. Is there electronic signing on proposals?
Yes, there is. As long as you are on our new experience, you will have that option. If I go back into my proposal, go back over into Clarence. In order to make sure that is actually set, what you're going to go is over to preview and share. So you're just making sure everything's there. When you go over here to customize what your clients can see, you're going to see this approval. So approval on mine is automatically set to electronic signature. If yours is not checked and I uncheck it, it's going to look like this at the bottom. So I've lost that button to sign. If you do need them to sign, you're going to make sure you go to customize what your clients can see, go to approval, and then click on electronic signature. So now it pops up once again.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that covered all of our questions in the chat. Is there any other questions we have?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if not, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Melanie. I hope everyone found this worthwhile.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, everyone, for the questions. I really appreciate being here.